And good afternoon, YouTube community, guys and girls. It's your boy, Lex Anderson, here in the building. And you know what it is. When you see the tap out shirt, when you see the words believe, that can only mean one thing. And I'm here to discuss UFC 217 here in New York City in Madison Square Garden. Your boy wasn't in attendance, but after watching the weigh-ins on Facebook, on my group, the Sports Opinion Log, I said to myself, you know what? I got to put down the money for this. I got to see it. 3 title fights. 3 new UFC champions. And it was just great, folks. Like, it was definitely worth the money. I'm glad it was something I got to actually see versus watching highlights and seeing post-fight interviews and stuff. You had to see it to believe it. Who would have thought that 2 of the people who were undefeated champions would have lost their belts, as Cody did, and Joanna? Like, it was totally insane. And it was the women in particular that I had made mention that made me want to check out the fight, because the weigh-in was just crazy. The way Joanna was telling Rose Namajunas how she was going to take her soul and how mentally weak she was. And of course, you know, I'm reading the backstories about Rose and the mental health issues in her family and the past sexual abuse as a child, and just wanting to spread the word of positivity. And to put someone who again was 14-0 and is now 14-1, to put someone down due to tapping out as they were striking them on the ground in the first round, totally electric. Okay, so let's just get to the files right here. Let's just start fight. GSP, George St. Pierre, right? 4 years out the game. He's older. He moved up a weight class against Bisping. Look, let's be real here. If you're a true MMA and UFC fan, you already know that Bisping would be the perfect opponent for St. Pierre to come back and take what's rightfully his, a championship belt. Well, I shouldn't say his, because now he's a 2-time UFC champion, multi-divisional weight classes. So we'll get to that in a minute, though. But in terms of the skill set, come on. GSP, when they show his workouts, this guy's doing push-ups on Olympic rings. Push-ups on Olympic rings, folks. What are we talking about here? When you see a man doing push-ups on Olympic rings, yeah, I'm going to say that you're more physically apt at taking down and defeating your opponent. And GSP truly brought that. Rear naked choke. Bisping doesn't even tap out. He just loses consciousness. Classic GSP. And when I saw the Superman punch earlier, he was setting the tone. The strength is still there. The takedowns were good. Bisping definitely did his thing, fighting off his back with his elbows, landed some good punches, had him bloodied and bruised. But at the end of the day, who's the new UFC middleweight champion of the world? George Rush St. Pierre. And oh man, Michael Buffer. Shout out to Michael Buffer. That man is just electric. The way he does the ring announcements, like you can feel the crowd, feeds off his energy. They recite the lines with him, and you know, yeah, Michael Buffer, he's truly the man. And that was a nice outfit, blue tuxedo combination he had going on. Okay, so let's go to the notes here. That kid Dillashaw, again with Cody. Let me get my notes here. With Cody Garbrandt, who's now 11-1. First loss. Losing the championship, that definitely has to suck. But how about Dillashaw saying that he is now willing to drop down to 125 to take on Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson, saying that he's been ducking and dodging him and that he's going to break his record? Oh, that should be hilarious, folks. And speaking of hilarious, with St. Pierre coming back and capturing the UFC middleweight championship, he now overtakes Demetrius Johnson in terms of the amount of victories with being a champion by 13, from what I had read or saw in the sidebar, which is why I'm stumbling as I'm trying to recall it. But it's okay, I'm only human, because I'm just here to convey the emotion of seeing UFC 217 which was without Conor McGregor, so that's good. UFC is still a good brand. They still put on the best shows, the best fighters. You have a variety of backgrounds and storylines, people coming up through the ranks or coming up in life to be a champion, and seeing Rose shed those tears and just be so humble about being the new UFC strawweight women's champion of the world. Come on now. It gets no better than that. Oh, so humble, so graceful, and that's truly what a championship and being a good champion's about, though, right? But hey, you know, we all like a little braggadocio or a little bravado, a little bit of, narcissistic attitude. But hey, I love it when there is a humble champion. That's what the sports world is definitely about, and there's more of that needed. Not every well, of course, the Patriots could be hated and vilified, but that's another sport. So what do we have here? GSP captures the middleweight championship with a rear naked choke in the third round, making him now the fourth multi-divisional champion in UFC history. A tip of the cap to you, GSP. You did your thing. And Dillashaw. I thought that Cody Garbrandt was going to take him out, because at the weigh-in, he was talking about how he's a former champion. He'll never get the belt back. Well, it looks like someone didn't live up to their words. Dillashaw claims his UFC bantamweight title with his second round KO at 241 of the second round. And again, once again, Rose Namajunas shocked the UFC world by beating the defending and previously unbeaten Joanna Jedrzejczyk in the first round, tapped out due to strikes to become the new UFC strawweight women's champion. It was a beautiful... I'm not going to get into all the undercards. They were all good. Right now my focus is on GSP and his next opponent, who looked pretty fearsome to me. I believe his name was Whitaker. Hopefully I've got that right. And I don't know nothing about that young man, but I do know he's an interim champion. And the clips that I saw, his highlight reel clips, straight devastating. So Dana says that's next up on the table. So let's see what happens. Cody wants a rematch. Dillashaw has his focus on Mighty Mouse and dropping weight. Who knows? We'll see. Joanna says she's going to take some time off with her family. Understandable after what happened to her, especially sporting that black eye. I was like, wow. So let's see what's up next for our new champion, Rose Namajunas. Thank you very much for stopping by. That's all I've got for today. UFC, tap out, MMA. Shout out to everybody there in that world. The fans are great. The players are great. I've had the opportunity to catch some UFC fights and check some weigh-ins and go to a MMA workshop at Jacob Javits Center a couple of years back. It was wonderful. The fighters are so fan-friendly. It's truly an amazing thing to be with and engage with those people who are champions, but yet they take the time out of their day to acknowledge, give a couple of fist bumps, do a couple of fist bumps, a couple of hand claps, and just, take pictures and sign autographs with the fans. Trust me, if you've never been, you got to go to a UFC weigh-in. If you can't make it to a fight, try to do the weigh-ins. Or definitely look out for when there's a MMA MMA tournament in Jacob Javits. You got to go. Put that on your bucket list to check out. Because as a fan, I was blown away by the approachability of the wonderful athletes, men and women of UFC. That's all I've got for today. Thank you for viewing. Don't let the views just end here, though. Go to your right, hit that subscribe button, hit your boy with the thumbs up to let me know how I'm doing. That's all I've got. This is your boy Lex Anderson. I'm signing out.
in your car or anything like that.